What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video today. And today we're bringing you guys our Texas-Michigan game preview prediction video. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment those thoughts and opinions down below. Help me reach that goal of 1,400 subs by the end of September. We're currently up 29 away. We're at, I believe, 1,371. So let's get going on that. Let's hit that goal. Check out the description for links to our shop, podcast, website, Patreon page, and our College Football Roundup channel as we get going with just more college football. We're already through week 0, week 1, week 2 coming up, and a long season ahead of us. We're excited for it. So let's get started with today's video. So we got Texas and Michigan, biggest game of the week. It'll be the 12 o'clock big noon kickoff game on Fox. Right now, as it sits, Texas is favored by 7.5. The over/under on that one sits at 42.5. We'll get to what we think of those numbers later. ESPN gives Texas a 73.8% chance to win this game. Take that as you may. I know some people love and live or die by the ESPN analytics. Most people generally don't like them, but that's what they have in this game. Week 1, Texas beat Colorado State 52-0 at home. Michigan beat Fresno State 30-10 at home. And when I look at this game, what I really look at, obviously we didn't see much out of the Michigan guys. They were, out of the Texas players. Never really was a close game. Quinn Ewers had a pretty solid game. Went 20 of 27, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. They didn't play a whole lot. I don't believe Ewers played in the second half. He might have played second half, but he didn't. I know he didn't play in the fourth quarter. You look at Michigan; they were in a little bit of a closer game. Their guys got a little bit more work, but still not a whole lot. So not really a lot to go off of. We're really going to find a lot of things out in this game. But the biggest concern for me in this one, when you look at this Michigan team, is Davis Warren against Fresno State, just 15 of 25 for 118 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Now the running game was very good for Michigan. They did very well on the run game. But when I look at Davis Warren, not very impressed with what he showed in that football game. Obviously, we all thought this offseason that Alex Orji was going to be the starter, but that just didn't work out. He ended up not being named the starter. Warren beat him out. Orji did come into the game, was 1 for 2 with a 3-yard touchdown pass, but for the most part, it was Davis Warren, and he was the guy for him. Donovan Edwards, he struggled on the run game in this game. 11 carries for just 27 yards. Orji also ran the ball a little bit at 5 carries for 32 yards. But Khalil Mullings was the big back for him in this game, 15 carries for 92 yards. As a team against Fresno State, Michigan had 34 carries, under 48 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. Obviously not the best. You would have wanted a little bit more, especially out of Edwards in the first game of the season. But I also understand not playing him a whole lot. You don't want to hurt him. He had the game pretty much in the bag. Score was a little close, but the game never really felt super close. But it was a little concerning in how Michigan played, at least offensively in that game. When you just look at the lines of scrimmage in that game at the offensive line, not a 4.4 yards per carry isn't bad, but against Fresno State with the O-line that you think you have and the running backs that you have, you would expect a little bit more than that. And out of the passing game, they just didn't really seem like they had much going there. Quarterback not really a factor, and the receivers weren't really making very many plays. Um, so my 3 biggest factors for this game is, 1, can Texas stop the run game? We know coming in that's what Michigan's going to want to do. They're going to want to run football. They're going to lean more on the running game than the passing game, or at least they're going to want to. If you're Texas, you got to find a way to stop that run game, get pressure. Keep it to like 3 yards a carry, 3.5 yards a carry. Keep that number low. Don't give up any explosive plays in the run game. Make them work their way down the field, especially with the inexperience at the quarterback position from them. The longer you make them stay on the field, the more likely that they're gonna cause and errors and make mistakes. Obviously, you want them to go 3 and out every time, but if they're gonna score, you would rather them go 14 plays down the field than you would them go, one play, 80-yard touchdown run from Donovan Edwards. But I feel like if you're Michigan, you want to run the ball, you want to hold on to the football, you want to keep that Texas. So I feel like that one kind of plays into both parts, both teams kind of evenly. But if you're Texas and you can force Michigan to throw the football, I think you'll be in pretty good shape. On the other hand, if you're Michigan and you can run the football, you're going to be looking pretty good in this one as well. My second biggest factor in this one is, can Michigan limit the big plays or take them away completely from this Texas offense? Can they limit that explosiveness, keep everything in front of them? Michigan has a great defense, have the secondary to do it, headlined by Will Johnson. This is a team that can do that. It's just a matter of if they will. If they can make Texas go on these long drives, that's a win for Michigan. If they can prevent, letting a guy like Isaiah Bond get deep on them, 75-yard touchdown pass right out of the gate or whatever it may be, if you can prevent that, if you're Michigan, you're going to be looking pretty good and in a pretty good situation there. But if you're Texas, if you're able to hit those explosive plays, then that's going to be great for you. Putting a lot of points on the board, because this Michigan team, one, they're not a team that's going to want to work fast and under pressure. They're not a team that's going to, they're not really a team that's built to come back from a, 17-point deficit. Being down 17, they're not really a team that's built to come back from that in the second half. Now, if it's in the first half, yeah, they got plenty of time, but midway through the third quarter, if Texas is up 17 in this game, it's going to be looking pretty good for them if they're limited the big plays from Michigan as well. And number three in this one is, can Michigan sustain long drives? You want to wear that Texas defense out, because the more you wear them down, the easier it's going to be to run the football for you in this game. If you're Michigan, that also keeps your defense rested, because if they wear down, then that's when you're going to see Texas start hitting those big plays, those explosive plays in the run game. Quinn Ewers having all day to throw it. They've got the receivers that they can really take advantage of a situation like that. You got to find a way to prevent that if you're Michigan. So now to my score prediction in this one. I think Texas covers the spread, and I also have it hitting the over. I have Texas winning this one 31-20. I think that they get a big win, a big statement win in the Big House. I do think Michigan is a little overrated. Right now they're currently ranked 10th in the country. I don't think they'll finish top 10. I actually don't think Michigan will make the playoff this year. I don't see this team as a playoff team. I just think that offensively they just don't have the capabilities that they had last year. I don't think they have the pieces. The defense is obviously not as good as it was last year either. And the schedule's tougher. It is. Just simply put, the schedule is a tougher schedule this year. Not only that, new head coach. Obviously, he's been in the program and around the program, but he's never been a head coach for your team before. You lost Harbaugh, who was really the guy that held a lot of it together. And speaking of program, just all the stuff you have going around your program as well. Just the pressure of, you're the defending champion. You got to go out there and play like it. But two, all the stuff with Connor Stalions, the cheating scandal, all that stuff spiraling around your program. I think this is going to be a big win for Texas. I think that this will be a step in the right direction to their hopes of getting back into the college football playoff and potentially going for a national championship this year. But that's how I see this game playing out. Again, Texas 31,